he takes a few quick steps into the room, puts the things in the bundle, closes up the bundle, and then he puts, is there a bag or a trash can or something?
Sure, there's a trash can made of metal.
Put the thing in the trash can, pick up the trash can, and then he'll take a few steps out.
Mm-hmm. You'll see the museum's brochure with little circles and notes in presumably Polish.
Okay. He looks at the museum brochure. What? He's confused. Necromancy by night, museum by day. He's a sick bastard.
I mean, Felix, sorry to break that revelation to you, but not all museum visitors are saints. I know it's hard, but it's true, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he looks over to Martin. I appreciate your attempts at humor, Martin, but I am clutching in my arms here what is the collection of, I don't know, a few hundred dead children's souls trapped in abandoned photos. I'm not really in the mood.
Something gallows humor? Yeah, I get your point. We really do need to find this Krakow flaky whoever he is.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Although, if he apparently has Polish as his preferred language, then it seems very odd that he would be from Mexico.
Maybe they are not the same person then.
Which would mean that we are not dealing with one problem, but two.
4, probably, because we also have Berkta and Mr. North.
I wouldn't consider Mr. North a problem. You know, dogs that bark and all that.
Well, he looks over to Bjorn. Can you track him with that?
Can Bjorn?
There's a very faint smell. It would be practically impossible to track someone through Berlin with just this, especially if he's not been here for a few days.
Those things that are circled on the museum brochure, Felix, do you know what they are?
Felix takes a look.
Oh, sure. They appear to be different sorts of old reliefs. Generally, if you have an old altar, there's a front of it. Many of these have been taken from different places in the world and brought to Berlin, where they're put in the museum. A few of these have been circled, and there's sort of little scribbled notes next to them.
What does the
Seems
note
a very
say?
specific interest. Well, it's in Polish.
Well, maybe I know Polish. I don't know.
Well, scholarship and you do, I suppose.
Mechanically speaking, you have a number of bonus languages equal to your scholarship score, and the book says that you don't have to decide immediately, but can just say,
Wonderful.
I know Polish.
Do you know Polish?
One of your languages is Polish.
I don't know.
It's like set in
will
stone.
forever remain Polish.
Bjorn actually knows
Hi.
Polish.
What? Bjorn?
Bjorn actually knows Polish.
It wouldn't be that
Bjorn knows
weird.
Polish, all right.
Yeah, there you go.
Felix tosses the brochure over to Bjorn, who apparently
I
knows.
know what this is.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, sorry, it's just been so long since I've read Polish. I don't know what it is.
The things are generally no, question mark, maybe. And another one is check the aura on this one. A third one is basically has yes on it. And then a circle. It seems like these things are written at different times. Perhaps he's taken tours or some such, or had people do it for him to check on different these reliefs.
And Bjorn will tell them about the question mark, maybe, and yes.
Alright, what's the yes?
The yes appears to be an old, basically Roman Christian relief from an altar somewhere recovered from Britain.
Hmm. Well, we need to take a look at that thing, unless Felix knows off the top of our head what it is.
Probably not.
Okay. Well, that seems like something we need to look at.
Put that away.
No. Do we know which museum this is?
Yes, the Bodhi Museum. Bodhi.
Seems quite possible then that the good photographer has supplied this necromancer with soul prisons, and judging by the pile, he's been doing this for a while.
But you think that the photographs are just normal photographs until they were turned into whatever it is?
Yes, for some reason he uses them as some sort of medium to capture these spirits. That is my belief.
Or
Exactly why he needs them. Why would you have spirits imprisoned? To use for fuel in necromantic rituals, most likely. That's the most common use for them. You sacrifice them
Certainly have a lot of power.
You sacrifice their souls for power.
The
Or you
purer
offer
and
them.
older, the better.
You offer them in some sort of bargain with some demon or even worse thing. This is what I'm holding here is hard currency for some really, really bad creatures. I can understand why Berkta is pissed.
Does this have a connection with what we found in the sewers?
I don't know.
Well,
To the museum.
Rory is obviously not here, so we might as well go to the museum, yeah. Maybe close that door again and make sure we get some distance between us before. Yeah. Or is there anything that normal people could notice?
The lock. Being like warped.
It was like that when we got here. Felix shrugs.
That's covered in the security deposit.
Could we somehow know if he returns here?
That sounds like magic to me. I'm not going to leave my phone here, although I could, I suppose.
Or we could pay someone to keep an eye on this place.
By we,
Or
you mean
anyone.
Martin, right?
I didn't want to say it out loud, but
Find a street urchin in Berlin to.
Oi there.
or just the lady at the desk.
I saw him. Yes, I did.
You know,
Maybe
Shin,
no lady can be bribed.
I like your thinking. Keep going. Martin will kind of make his way downstairs to talk with the old lady.
He pulls out a
Well,
crisp 100.
Sitting there reading still. New cigarette.
Hey, turns out that the person who invited us wasn't there. Surprise, surprise. And we'd like, well, I'd
Took you
like
a
to
long
know.
time to figure out.
Well, had to be sure that he's not hiding somewhere.
Boys haven't done anything bad, have you?
No.
Points to a sign above her that says any transgressions of rules will be sort of given over to the police.
We haven't really done anything. Well, how much?
Felix carrying something bundled in the trash can.
How much? So that we haven't done anything. No.
Do I look like someone you can just pay off?
Yes.
Well, Martin will pull out like 100 and then 200.
Butter her up. Use rapport.
Surely you have children, grandchildren or something who've got birthdays coming up, right?
Takes
Think
the
of
money,
their happy faces. There.
looks at them, pockets them, and gives you like a few brochures from a local sort of holder on the wall with different things. Here you go. Most people get them for free, but visitors, well, drugs.
Yeah, well,
Boys have a good time.
I like to be charitable. Thank you. And have a nice day. We should leave now, Felix. Quick.
Goes up with a smoke. Yes, I'll say to your friend that you said hi.
Yes, please do. And in fact, if you see him, give me a call, yes?
I don't know your phone number.
Martin will pull out a slip of paper like a business card and just hand it to
Of
her.
course he has a business card.
Of course he does.
Martin Brunn, Investments.
Oh,
He just takes it, puts it in a little holder behind her desk.
good.
Sits down again with a newspaper.
And I think we're done here.
She doesn't seem overly bothered by your acting, behaving.
Not after being.
Maybe she doesn't get paid enough to deal with this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
She
Oh,
just
shit.
did.
All right, you leave. Yeah. Where we see this scene? You sit in your car, look at each other. Where are we going?
We should probably deposit the pictures somewhere. I'm not sure if we should be carrying them around.
Well, for starters, Tia will go to the alley and change bag. And
All
put
right.
some clothes on so she can drive.
Sure. There's a hobo. Looks at his flask twice. Looks up again. Just drinks more.
Oh, oops.
Good stuff, apparently.
Oops. Well, he's drunk. No one will believe him. Comes back.
No one believes hobos anyway.
I don't know where Felix usually keeps these volatile things, but the museum island at least sounds like a reasonable place to stash them. Surely you have some safe or something for these dangerous things, right?
We could probably put them in the office.
As long as they don't smell too much.
And by office,
It's an old fart there.
and by office I mean Edmund's office. He can probably look. He can probably hold on to these. He probably not even home at the moment, so we can probably just borrow his office for a little bit.
Who's Edmund?
It's
Felix's boss.
Felix looks over to Bjorn. I don't have a boss. I'm a wizard.
Wizards can
I
have
have a-
bosses.
I have
No.
a boss and I'm a wolf.
Well, wolves are pack animals. Wizards are.
Bears can have bosses.
If wizards were animals, what kind of animal would they be, Felix?
Felix just blinks at everyone.
We see the scene pan out here.
Yep.
without an answer. As we then hear like the thunk as you drive it with a little speed bump onto the bridge going over the water.
I'm a good driver.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a fair driver. There you go.
As you drive into the
Can't judge the speed
museum
bumps.
district, there's a lot of people going around. There's like a school class going here too. So look at architecture and whatnot. All on their phones. None of them looking at anything.
Does Felix know if Edmund is home?
Sometimes he is. Otherwise, he's out dealing justice.
Mm-hmm.
He is, after all, that kind of wizard. Who,
Sure
is
is.
very strict with all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And he is always at his eye on you. Yes, you don't follow the rules always.
No. But maybe I should follow the rules so he doesn't give him this to hold on to, or like put it in his office at least, to be safe. That's where
What would he
all the
think if they
dangerous
just
things-
appeared there?
He would think that I've done my duty, and
Maybe you should leave a note.
Just leave a
with
note.
Ralph, Felix.
With love,
investigating
fuck you.
necromancy. Keep an eye on these. Love, Felix.
They would surely be gone in a sea of paperwork for the next 2 years, perhaps, before you could reach them again. But
That's true. But that's only
Oh,
if he's
yeah.
there, right?
otherwise, they would just lay on the table until he comes and finds them and puts them in the paperwork.
Put them in the paperwork.
Can we just, I don't know, burn them?
Not really.
With all of the spirits inside.
I don't know how spirits work.
I don't know.
I mean, does
Have to do a
Felix think
ritual
that
to...
burning them would solve it?
Destroying the vessels generally force the spirits out. If they have anywhere to go, that's the question.
That's a very
Otherwise,
violent way
just sort of hang around doing what hungry spirits do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if we just destroy them, they go berserk.
They'll probably mingle if they don't have a place to go, and that could be bad.
They're
Spirits
hungry. They're
generally
gonna go
want
up.
Yeah.
place to go. They generally have one if they've stayed for so long, a grave site or some such.
Would that like animate the corpses then?
No, they would just rest there.
Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could
Perhaps-
perform a ritual to unseal them.
Is the problem is if they have a home to return to, we don't know, because these might be do you see the children clear enough to determine if they're old, like old-timey children, or these modern children?
They don't really appear to be clothed much. They're really too young to easily know.
Can they even be identified?
Like the oldest one is like 2 looking.
Okay, no.
Most of them don't have hair. Like,
And
That
if,
is-
I mean,
some
if
of them
there
again
is
are just like fractions or slight reflections or
thing is that these might be spirits that have been conjured up like at a gravesite or something, and in that case they have place to return to. But if they're like fresh, if he has actually killed children and put them in here like recently, he might have just disposed of the bodies or animated them or like burned them or done something, then the spirits won't have really anywhere to go, I think.
You might be able to divine them to a divination ritual to
Maybe,
divine if their bodies are.
but it's not. I would need to know more about them. Like, this is a prison. I can't really access the soul, I think, unless I...
well, you
I would
could.
be able to help with the ritual
Such a
if
thing
I.
would be breaking one of the laws of magic.
Which one?
Playing with necromancy to
I mean,
to
yes.
reach into a soul prison of the dead. Because you could potentially make them answer you a lot of questions if the 2-year-old would
Yeah,
know.
no, I don't want to answer questions. I just want to
Yeah.
track the body of them.
Yeah. And I think breaking a necromantic prison is like more good than evil, actually.
Sure, but we are in an office right next to a warden, and if he finds that out, he's gonna kill us all.
I mean, is breaking a necromantic seal, is that against the laws of magic?
If you ask him, it is.
This is really complicated.
Yes, they need to be destroyed.
What if
and so
what if we destroy the seal by the biggest graveyard in Berlin?
I mean, we could just take a guess, but again, if we don't know if they're modern or old-timey, like we could just be sending an army of hungry spirits out there.
Well, how about this? We keep them for now, and maybe our good old friend Krakow, or whoever he is, will be able to answer a few questions or 3 once we actually find him and I get to talk to him.
Sure.
Mr. Brown could always put them in his safe, these pictures.
To be quite honest, I would rather not have them in my home.
Put them in the trunk of your car. Do you have like a secret compartment in your car?
This sort of magic is generally like, as again, you can feel it. It's seeping out. It has an aura of just horrible things.
You could cast
Can
a
you
veil on it.
just and can you just make a magical prison and put them in there, where they can't seep out and they'll be safe?
Potentially, set up like a circle and use a threshold to seal them in.
Or you can cast a veil on it.
I bet they know that it's for their safety.
They're
I mean,
they don't know much of anything.
They don't
Well-
care. They're just hunger.
Well, they would understand.
Sure.
Two-year-olds don't understand much.
I mean, a veil might work.
You put them into a box and that box has a veil cast on it.
You could certainly put it in an invisible box.
Not
But remember-
invisible, but
Just Remember to make a circle and close it.
These things are all possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Just sure. Put it in a circle. Put a veil over the circle and the thing inside. Seal it up.
Yeah, mundane people won't see it. Magical people will see that. Well, if they're really good, there's a hidden circle with a box with stuff in it. Certainly that someone wanted to keep something from getting out. Or in, for that matter. Where do you put this? In your office? Or
I guess.
right. We tie it to the threshold. Even if it's weak. There's one there. You live there.
And after that has been stowed away, I suppose we're going to take a look at that altar.
A threshold is as strong as there's someone who's been living there, right?
Yes. But as someone who doesn't really have a family much and who works where you live, it's a rather weak one, but it's there.
What if not a family, just one person has lived in the same house for a very long time?
That helps, especially if you don't work there. Especially if they don't work there. If they consider it a real home. And, yeah.
I have a house, but it's in the forest.
It's a little complicated.
It's
and
a
the
little
forest is also very far away from here.
Yeah. Well, it's not in the... Well, yeah, it is. It is
Very
in
far, very far south.
And...
Let's go to Bavaria.
No. It's still in... It's...
I'll ready the plane. Give me a moment.
I mean, don't really need
someone has lived there for a very long time.
don't really need a high threshold place.
Well, if we ever do, now you know.
Regardless, you can certainly go. You have like the book and the brochures and such. It's very close after all, the museum. So you can easily go to the museum and you can go there. It's free. Beautiful museum. You can go look around and you can indeed find the altar. It appears to have been brought from Greece, from where it was brought from, presumably Britain. It appears to be taken by with the Romans when they left, basically, to preserve it from like British heretics who might want to destroy it. It appears to be fairly old, although the plaque doesn't say anything about its actual age.
Well, I am a scholar, and I know many things. See what I know about this.
Sure. Well, it's not really your museum, so to speak, but the White Council does certainly have an interest in keeping certain things here. This would be one of those things that are sort of like, let's not talk about this. Let's just keep it here. It's nothing. You don't know anything special about it. Like the history and such is actually fairly unremarkable. It has sort of some angels on it and whatnot. But presumably, it is said to have been important in the sort of the Roman British Church, maybe even the Britain Church, back to the sort of the early Middle Ages, and maybe even before then. It is fairly old. It has to do with the faith, and if you sense it, it does certainly have some sort of energy. Not too strong, but not faint either. It is a holy object, safe to say. And if you don't really know too much about those things. Mundanely, though, it's not really remarkable. It's been put here, and the plaque is maybe, arguably on purpose, kind of boring to make it uninteresting to people come here.
Did you give Alex a call? Felix will sort of mutter to himself as he looks over the altar. To no one in particular, but probably Martin.
I suppose I could call him.
He's doing charity work in like the Netherlands.
I don't know if he'll pick up though. Does he even have a phone? Does he know what a phone is?
I
Doesn't
think he
have a
does.
phone. He's not rich enough for that.
Well, unless the Almighty himself sends him our way. I'm not an expert at old Catholic altars and relics. Looks it over. It's holy, I can tell you that much. Why he would want it? Scratches his head. Defiling it, maybe? Using it in some sort of necromantic ritual seems to be the reason.
Is there a cathedral somewhere in Berlin?
Oh, yes.
We could always ask a priest.
Well, there's asking a priest, and then there's asking a priest who knows, you know?
That's why I suggested Alex, but
I don't know who Alex is.
I do know one particular group of people who would have the knowledge, but that would be a big can of worms, especially if I asked them. They wouldn't be happy. I think they'd try to kill me again. So let's not do that.
They might be some of the people who could tell you.
Couldn't one of
You
us
know their phone number.
Couldn't one of us just ask them then? And
Yeah.
just not let them know that we know you?
I suppose you could. I can give you the phone number, I suppose, but Martin shrugs.
Who are these people?
Though, what's the chances of them
It's
showing
the,
up and doing something?
it's the Knights of St. George, I believe. They style themselves as modern dragon slayers, looking over at Martin. And they have tried to kill Martin how many times?
I stopped counting. At least they have been kind of, polite about it, I suppose, in a sense.
Well, we just don't tell them anything about Martin. Mr. Brown, sorry.
Oh, you can call me Martin, it's fine.
Thank you.
If
Felix
they
looks at
got
the phone.
involved, however, it would become more difficult for me, at least.
We wouldn't want them
On
to be
the other
involved,
hand,
really.
How come-
I assume the museum has some old archives and stuff. We could go down there and rummage around to see if we can find anything about it.
Well, if you're a scholar, maybe you have some behind the scenes.
This is the White Council's museum. These
Oh, you
museums
could-
are
Yeah.
the White Council's museums.
Then you couldn't you just go in
Your
there?
colleague most likely has paperwork about it.
Then you can most likely just go, I want to know about this, give me all of the books.
Snoop around.
And then...
Well, he probably
Yeah.
want you to fill out quite a few forms and
Exactly. We don't have time for that.
ask, or you can apologize.
Well, if
Yeah.
if you're one, we could split up. One of us goes and talks to these dragon slayers, and the others tries to get some information in.
Well, you kind of don't want to do that.
Oh
do you?
yeah, no,
would
I
like
don't
to-
want that.
I would like to invoke, and it seems like you're going to take it, because you have an aspect that says never split
forgot.
the pack.
I forgot.
You don't want to split up. Bad things happen when
That
you
was a
split up.
terrible idea. Why would I even say that?
If you stop that from happening, then you get a fate point.
Okay, she goes, no way, that's a terrible idea. What if these fairies come back and they take us one by one?
Well, it's middle of the day. I don't think they will attack us in broad daylight. Especially if the Winter Court, they usually act at night. Well, it might be a decent idea.
No, I think it's a terrible idea. We would be screwed if we got attacked by fairies or ghouls.
I mean, it would be a good idea in the sense that Martin doesn't have to be in the group that goes to the church people.
But what if something happens to Martin?
Well, if we can't find anything through the books, then we'll go to the St. George people. But if we don't want to get them involved because yeah, they suck.
I mean, Felix has access to the White Council archives, right, of this place.
Sure.
We really
Works here.
Well, then let's all go there.
And we can all do some reading. Hmm?
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea.
Let us
Felix
into the
looks
White
at
Council
Bjorn.
archives.
Looks at Bjorn.
mean, they're
Then
not
looks at
secrecy
Tia and says,
or anything.
"Ah,
Tia looks like she's in distress about
no.
the whole.
I don't think so. I can't really let you into the archives.
Then we all just make sure that no one walks in behind you.
Oh,
Protects the doorway.
that's fine with me, I guess. I looks around. Well, the vaults are this way. And starts heading down the corridor.
If any of you look at Tia, you would think if she had a tail right now, it would be wagging like wild.
Like happy?
Yeah, she's really happy that we're gonna stay together.
And then Felix slips out secretly.
Remember to record your fate point.
Dun dun dun.
Yay!
Could I make a lore check to see if my character would figure out how to use this object and the pictures and all those things in a ritual? Like in what kind of ritual?
Sure, you can think about that. You know.
Let's see. Oh, I need to click the token.
Well, as you know, items of power have power in them. They sort of and that power can be used in a ritual in the same way that a threshold could be used to hold up some sort of thing. Basically, it would allow you to drain the power out of the thing, destroying it potentially, and then put that power to use without having to draw it from yourself, thereby sparing yourself a lot of headache, or allowing you to make a spell that is much greater than what your body and your own power could possibly hold. These things could also, since you've captured them, you could coerce them into service for you much easier.
Tia
Which
tries
is, of course, also not something.
to smell around this museum to see if there's any rotten smell.
No. I mean, only from a mummy and one of the.
That mummy!
But
Mummy is a ghoul.
I don't even have to roll?
No.
Okay.
That's someone's day job.
Very nicely cleaned in here. Rotten meat is not something I have around.
So, considering the
rotten
amazing,
meat, the rotten smell as the ghoul had.
None of that.
Okay.
considering the amazing utility of Martin's phone, he would like to check if there's anything special currently in the Berlin Opera, like a special play that just released a few days ago or something like that. Maybe even
Sure.
something relating to any relevant topic.
Sure.
Who knows?
Well, it actually turns out that that some of all the lights malfunctioned a few days ago, and it's been closed for repairs.
Huh.
Well, that's a perfect place to go then.
Ragnar, I know it's you. You should leave again.
Wagner will be after you.
Well, let's keep that in mind until Felix is done.
Plan.
Is there a cafeteria of some sort at this museum?
Sure. Yeah.
Tia will go and buy some beef jerky.
It's
for the
quite
group.
famous, actually.
There's no
this way.
beef jerky in
There's
the
no beef
cafeteria.
jerky?
There's Germany. You can have like a Berliner. Coffee and tea.
Well, yeah, I'll turn you all with one Danish at the time. Fine, I'll buy 5 Berliners.
They have a very good scrambled eggs and bacon.
No.
In a cafe.
Yeah.
Most
I-
most cafeterias have like schnitzel. So that's what you get in Germany.
Yeah.
Sounds more like a diner.
I think it would be weird
It's a
if
cafeteria. People work here. They need food.
you'll buy 5
Oh,
Berliners
like-
and come back to the group with them.
Like a work diner.
We'll hand out Berliners.
I'm sure, like Felix can get people visitors badges.
Oh yeah, sure.
You use staff bathrooms and whatnot.
We can use the staff bathroom.
I'll go wreck it.
Don't wreck the staff bathroom.
I wouldn't do that.
Well,
Talk
Felix
about
goes
more.
to search. We see him go into the imagine taking a candlestick off the wall and going down a stair, a musty old room that's been locked off. There's this security guard sitting there who always sits there, never goes home or anything, just sort of sits there, sniffs in the air when he walks past, and looks at him, growls a little bit, and then unlocks the door with a big iron key, the rusty door sort of swings open, clearly very old. as he walks into like an unlit room with a slight bit of candlelight. We just see these rows and rows of like shelves with stacks of papers and what's basically like a bomb shelter down here.
Yeah. Well, he takes a deep breath and a sigh, and then he sets about rummaging around the papers.
She basically walk in there, and then we clip to him having found something, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Roll some lore or scholarship. Lore.
Lore, yes.
Yeah.
That's quite.
Just supernatural things you're looking for, I assume.
Tell me about the lore.
Right. Your colleague is actually very old when this thing arrived here. So he was young back then, full of a lot more fervor in his beliefs that everything should be documented. And as such, there's certainly a documentation. It is believed, though not confirmed, that this item was involved in some of the work of priests working nearby the Lady of the Lake at the time in Old Britain.
Oh.
As such, it might have been involved in the creation of several modern-day still existing artifacts of the faith and hold potentially untapped power, even though it has been diminished by a lack of belief in it.
Oh.
It is to be kept here, and it's to be kept safe. Basically, the White Council would think that it is dangerous for anyone else to possess it, and it really belongs in a museum, so there it should stay.
It really does belong in a museum.
So I would say to keep these things basically not known and to not tell anyone ever, and simply leave it a boring, uninteresting item.
But from
such,
what
it's also been said, it's also been changed so that it now says it originates from Greece rather than like that it has come from Greece rather than directly from Britain.
Mm-hmm. So, with that in mind, would Felix believe that, like with the photos, would it be to then channel all of the spirit energy into some object on the altar to, like, basically try to make an artifact?
It seems like that could be it, though the altar is also in this territory and it's very well protected. It would have to be quite a lot of energy just to get it. It doesn't seem like the altar would have sort of an immediate use. Even if it's like it's only the facade of one anyway. It's sort of a nice thing. Not really something you could just carry out. You'd want some pretty burly and heavy-wielding goons to carry it out for you. And to do that, you would need to, best the security in the place somehow.
Yeah, the security is quite formidable, after all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless he's planning an all-out assault on the White Council stronghold in Berlin.
But how would one do that?
I mean, they would probably actually assault. roll up with soldiers and lots of people.
Thanks.
Maybe they have tanks in the opera.
Maybe. Well,
it's just a prop.
Exactly. Yes, it's a bang out of the pie, like the barrel. Well, in that case, we didn't really get